We're going to talk to Christian, who is calling in from Australia. Christian, you are live on Truth Wanted. What's up?
Biblically, neither of you can destroy our biblical Christological God.
Oh, shit, he's back. It's literally him. I didn't even realize it was him. Wow, just straight from the promo. That's awesome. I'm going to mute you for right now. I don't know if I want to engage in this conversation. I feel like I talked to you last week. I feel like I gave you a challenge, which was to talk about the verse in First Judges, which talks about God being defeated by iron chariots. But I don't know if you actually gave a response to that, because you said that God couldn't be defeated. I believe that was your main claim. And according to First Judges, the Israelites ran away because of, that. So if you want to answer that, you can. I've unmuted you now.
Biblically, you're presupposing the divinity of our biblical Christological God within your starting premise as you are discussing about the Bible. So you have presupposed the canonicity of our biblical Christological worldview. So my brute fact still stands, is that neither of you can destroy our biblical Christological God. What's thy response to that brute fact?
Biblical. I missed that word.
I know it's so. I think he's saying we can't destroy God. We can't destroy God. I don't think I can destroy something that doesn't exist. I think you have to prove that he exists first. I don't know.
Biblically, you have presupposed the divinity of our biblical Christological God because you referred to God with the pronoun he, and because exist is a verb.
Wait a minute. So I said, wait a minute. Whoa, no, stop right there. I said the pronoun he, and that means no. We are not doing this. I said the pronoun he, and that means I recognize the divinity of God. What are you talking about? No.
If I call you, can I make you a god now too, Dan? If I call you, Dan, you are great. I think that how can I use it in a sentence?
Just say I'm he. Just call me he, and that means that I'm God. I guess. Wait, what is going on, Christian? I'm gonna let you talk again. But here's the thing: you have to have a real conversation with us. If you repeat this same stuff over and over again, I am going to drop you. So that's a brute fact that you can deal with, okay? But you need to talk with us and actually respond with us, okay? Can you demonstrate the existence of God? And not because I say the word he or any nonsense like that. Can you actually demonstrate God? Can we start there?
Biblically, am I unmuted?
Are you really going to keep doing the biblically thing? Yes, you're unmuted.
Being heard? Okay.
Yes.
Biblically, when you use a proper noun God, you have to cross-reference said proper noun to the pure actuality of our biblical Christological God.
No, I don't.
Your presupposition, you use the word exist. Exist is a verb. A verb is a doing word. So because our biblical Christological God doesn't do a specific thing, that's not a defeater. So my brute fact still stands, is that neither of you can destroy our biblical Christological God.
You're talking about this is a criticism of English grammar. This isn't a criticism about reality, right? I don't care how exists and verbs typically function in a sentence. That doesn't. You've still yet to demonstrate why I should believe in God. That's what I really want to know. Why should I believe in God over any other kind of God claim, or even the claim that God doesn't exist? There's some people that even go that far. What is going to bring me to your position?
Biblically, you're still contradicting yourself because your starting premise presupposes the divinity of our biblical Christological God.
No, I don't presuppose the divinity. You're saying that he's divine. I don't believe that.
Biblically, you have allow me to finish. So this comports with Romans 1:20. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power, and divine have been clear.
Christian.
Understood.
You're not answering our question. You're really just avoiding it entirely. I'm not presupposing anything, Christian. You are presupposing that I'm presupposing. I'm not presupposing anything. I have no claims to God. I have absolutely no claims. I make nothing of his divinity. I say nothing. I don't even say anything. Well, I don't think the Christian God exists. But if we're talking about like God claims in general, like big, little G God, well, not little G, big G God, like nature or something. I'm not going to deny like nature. We're not even going that far. We're just talking about Yahweh here. I just want to know how you know Yahweh exists. How do you know that, Christian? And how am I supposed to know that? How do I get there? Show me the path.
Biblically, every time
Can we have a conversation without you saying biblically? I'm going to be honest with you. It's annoying me. I am going to interrupt you. I absolutely am, because you're annoying the heck out of me, Christian. If you want to talk to me, you got to stop with the biblically crap. Seriously, talk like a person, please. My goodness. All right, you're back on. Please give your response. If you say biblically again, I will drop you. Full stop. Go ahead.
Christologically, when you use the proper noun God, you have to cross-reference said proper noun to the actor's.
No, you don't. I'm dropping this call. You don't have to cross-reference fucking shit. What is this, an MLA paper?
I don't give a shit about this.
What is happening? Look,
is it only like with the English language too that we're presupposing this?
I know. Listen, I could dance with this guy all day, honestly, but like we're not gonna get anywhere. Biblically, we're not going to get any. First of all, I cannot believe we just talked to him right after the promo.
That's really funny.
That is
yeah.
fucking hilarious. But also, I feel guilty whenever stuff like this happens, because we always stress that we want to have like real meaningful dialogue with people, and we always want to be patient, and we always want to try to be kind with these conversations. And I still believe in that, and I still think that's true. Mm-hmm. But there's no conversation happening here, right? This is somebody who wants to call in, who just wants to be right. That's it. And who isn't addressing us in any meaningful way. In other words, I don't think the interlocutor is interacting with us in good faith. I think you have to have good faith in these conversations. And I think that there's no systematic way to tell whether someone's having good faith or not, but I think that there's some indicators. I think there's pretty obvious indicators here, right? So I don't know. Biblically, Christologically, this is driving me crazy. English grammar does not have to conform to God in any meaningful way. If you think that God exists, you have to tell me why. You don't have to presuppose anything.
Yeah, and doesn't he's presupposing that the English language somehow proves because aren't there languages around the world that don't use they have different types of pronouns or whatever he was saying? Right. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Hebrew was a different language completely too. There was a totally different sentence structure. I don't know. Yeah. If he's gonna base it back on that.
I have no idea.
I kind of get what he was saying, where he was going, but that's they're where do you go from? That's not a conversation. That's just put that on a plaque and put it on your wall because it makes you happy saying that over and over again. Right.
And if you have a worldview that says, well, they've presupposed these things, so that's why they're wrong. You don't even feel the need to actually engage with somebody because you already know that they're wrong. See, that's what this goes back to this conversation about ideology, right? This is an ideology that literally says, I am right, everybody else is wrong. I don't have to listen to anybody else. The only reason why I have to listen to somebody else is to gain social favor so that I can convince them of this truth. There's not a back and forth. There's not a dialectic here. It's propaganda. I don't know.
I personally, I've never met anybody who was even sort of convinced by any presuppositional argument. I don't think I've ever met anybody who's even considering I don't know. What testimony do you hear from somebody? It's well, this guy got on the internet and he said biblically 10 times, and then I felt the conviction of God and I became a Christian. How does that work? What's the point of that besides your group on Discord or whatever? I don't know. It's frustrating.
Like I said, I always feel bad about dropping people. I don't feel as bad dropping that because we weren't going to go anywhere. It's just going to be us going back and forth of us saying, no, that's not what we're saying. This is what precepts do every time. Yeah. They say that we say things that we don't actually say. That is always what happens every single time. Every single time. It never changes. But
the call that we had earlier was the removal of a Bible verse, and that was my theologically heavy one that I had in my mind was Romans 1:20 because it makes it impossible to have conversations with people.
Right.
Because he quoted that one too. And that's like one of the main one. That's like one of the base verses that they use for presuppositionalism, or that idea that like I'm right and everyone else who disagrees with me is a fool.
Right. Also, that this conversation we just had with him literally could not happen pre-Christianity. In other words, like these specifically every presuppositionalist, they're always quoting the Bible. They're always saying these are the verses you have to listen to in order for you to be right about this thing. So if we lived in a time before the scriptures were as widely available as they are today, or even canonized as they were today, if we're just talking about the Jewish faith, even like how could he even argue for God? How would he even do it if he's not quoting some New Testament scripture that says, otherwise? I don't even know if that you could. I mean, maybe you'd pick out some Psalms or something that says, I don't know, that the believers are non-believers are fools or something. I don't know, but it's, oh my gosh, precepts. Every time it always works out that way.